Hello and welcome to my first ever Q&A. I don't know what that was, but I'm rolling with it. So recently I hit 2,000 subscribers and decided to celebrate with doing a Q&A, so I made this community post telling people to comment any questions that they had for me. So without further ado and in no particular order, let's get into the questions. The first question's coming from a bad person. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. You know, sometimes school still makes me want to put a gun in my mouth, but when I'm not at school, I'm doing pretty great right now. What do you like doing?
I love doing anything!
I like making videos. It's just a pretty fun thing to do in my free time, and I guess playing video games is another thing. Not going outside, you know, those are things that I like to do. Next question's from We07 Entertainment. If there was any character you could erase from Murder Drones, who would it be and why? Well, if we're talking about any character, then that's an easy one. I would remove Lord Frumplebucket. Sorry to all the Frumplebucket fanboys out there, but speaking seriously for a second, we could have had such a cool fight scene in episode 5, and that would have made the episode 8 fight scene even better because it would have been like V versus J the rematch, but instead of us getting that, we just for some reason randomly cut away to this motherfucker. Which indie animated show do you like other than Murder Drones? To name a few other indie shows that I like, I would say The Amazing Digital Circus, Lackadaisy, and Spooky Month. Are you happy that you came this far with the Murder Drones fandom? I mean, look, there's been ups and downs for sure, but overall, yes, definitely. I mean, I've made quite a lot of friends by just, you know, being here making these videos, which is just really cool. I'm just really glad that I've had this opportunity to make it this far. Next question's from Demon Rose. What got you into watching Murder Drones? This isn't going to be the most original answer, but it was from seeing the Digital Circus pilot. I had kind of just seen it floating around the internet for a while and decided eventually that I was going to check it out, and I enjoyed it quite a lot, and I decided to check Glitch's channel to see what else they had, and I found Murder Drones. And after putting off watching it for like a week because procrastination, I watched it, and yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit, so now I made it here. Are you looking forward to upcoming Glitch shows like Gaslight District and Knights of Guinevere? I still don't know if I'm saying that right. I hope I am. I am pretty excited for Glitch's new shows, but one thing that I'm not too sure about is the time that Knights of Guinevere was announced, because we still don't really even have like an official trailer for Gaslight District, and presumably that's coming out soon, and Knights of Guinevere is hopefully coming by the end of this year, so I'm not really too sure about the announcement times with them, but I am pretty excited for the new shows, even though there's still not that much information on them as of right now. What is your address and bank account information? In all seriousness, what was your thought process behind getting this far on YouTube, seeing as YouTube was literally my dream job as a kid? To be honest, it was mostly just that I liked Murder Drones and felt like it would be fun to make some videos about it, and I saw that a lot of other people were doing that as well, so definitely kind of helped me know what style of content I would probably be making. But as far as like how I've gotten successful, I mean, it's all thanks to my subscribers. Next question from Gummy9097. Who is your favorite Murder Drones character? Well, that is a very easy question. It's V. I think a lot of people seem to agree that V is one of the best characters, and I mean, she's been my favorite pretty much since I started watching the show. Next from MD Fan for Life. When did you start Murder Drones? I'm gonna assume they're asking when I started making Murder Drones content, which would have been, I believe, June of last year. Luckily, despite getting into Murder Drones content a bit later, it still has been pretty successful so far. What made you start a YouTube channel? I think just boredom, really. There just wasn't that much to do in my life at the time. I think summer had just started, so I had a lot of free time and decided, you know, why the hell not? Do you think Murder Drones should have a season 2? I feel like with the way the story currently stands, I don't know if there would really need to be a season 2. If there was gonna be one, I think it would have been more written in the way of them planning to make one. I don't think that it needed a season 2, but I do think a season 2 would have been pretty cool. What's the story behind your profile picture? That is actually a pretty interesting one that I think only a couple people know, actually. Basically, when I was making a new channel, I realized I was gonna need a profile picture, so I think I remember just like going to my homepage of YouTube, and in my recommended was this Markiplier video with his dog, and I just thought it looked funny, so that became my profile picture. If I'm being honest, I feel like I'm probably gonna change it soon. I mean, I think I'll leave it the same on my Discord, but on my YouTube, there's probably something I can change it to that would fit what I do a little better, if that makes sense. But yeah, good question. Next question from the God 5278. Can you rank the main characters? I'm not exactly sure what counts as a main character, but I would probably say these 4. V would obviously be number 1. Number 2 would probably be Uzi. 3 would probably be N, and 4 would be Sin. In all fairness though, the main characters are like some of my favorite characters, which I guess thinking about it makes sense because they have the most screen time, so therefore you get the most time to know about their character, you know? Next one from Echo Wave. When did you first watch Murder Drones, and what is your favorite episode? So it was, I think, a few weeks after Digital Circus came out, and then, like I said, I procrastinated on watching Murder Drones for like another week, so I think it was like middle of November was when I watched episode 1. And what is your favorite episode? It's episode 8, okay? Hear me out. Like, I understand why people don't like it. If I'm being honest, the only thing about it that I don't really like is how Jay was handled. I'm just not super satisfied with the conclusion that she was given in the show, but that's mainly my only real complaint. There's like a couple other small things, just like with every episode, but overall, fucking peak. I don't know. I really liked episode 8. I know it's a hot take. I don't really care because I like it. Next from Yellow 8. What is your favorite character and why? Well, I think by now you know who it is. Do you like apples? Yeah, apples are pretty good. Honestly, probably one of my favorite fruits. N or V? I'll give you 3 guesses. Top 5 favorite lines?
God fucked it.
Yeah, I'm not doing okay.
Как они по-русски любят говорить.
Ой, я должна была предположить, что кто-то сможет убежать через вентиляцию, используя выброшенное зеркало как ступеньки.
Hands off! No one traumatizes these weirdly hot robots but me! Shoot the baby immediately.
Lastly, I challenge you to read the I've had like kind of a sore throat today. This is not a good idea. Who is the cutest robot in Murder Drones? Well, that would be my boyfriend, N. Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Next from The Real Kiera. Who's your favorite character? You know, I think that's the problem with answering all the questions, is that a lot of them are going to be the same. And then, who is your crush? I'm assuming you mean in real life, so instead I'm gonna say Murder Drones, and V is great, and I want her to, Alright, next question from RadBadAd. What is your honest opinion on watermelons? Watermelons are pretty good. I wouldn't say they're, like, amazing or anything, but, like, you know, I'll eat one. They're good. Cook Plants 101. What is your honest opinion on Sin? I think she is pretty good. I wasn't too sure for like the first episode or 2 about her, but as time went on and she you know, became more evil in my eyes. I definitely started to like her quite a lot more as a villain, and I actually do think she's a pretty great character now, but at first I wasn't too sure. Some guy that exists. If glitch shows were games, what game genre do you think would fit the show? I mean, I guess it depends which show you're talking about, but I think generally, like, action and adventure games would probably fit the vibe pretty well, and I think horror could also be done pretty well. Next from Axolotl, when did you start watching Murder Drones? I don't know where the accent came from. So, you know, it's been over a year. It's been fun, and I'm excited for more fun times. Do you think Doll is alive inside Uzi similar to Sin? I mean, I think that makes sense given what we see, like, at the end of episode 8 with, like, the flashing whatever. I don't know if she has any control over anything that happens now, but I think she's technically inside. No, don't finish that sentence. What do you plan on doing in the future of this channel? Probably just making a lot of similar stuff that I make now, and I think slowly I'll start branching out to other forms of content. I mean, I've already done a few different things that have actually done pretty well, so I'm not like too worried about switching to other things, but definitely I want to keep this style of content going because I enjoy making it quite a lot. From Lord Carrot, will there be a Discord server? Right now, it's not really something I'm too bothered about, but that's not to say that it won't happen at some point in the future. Caramel Animations asks, what is the meaning of life and do you remember your genocides? No, I don't remember. Well, no, I don't. Next from Lunity Katniss, favorite character, yep. What's your favorite food? That's pretty easy. It would have to be pizza. If you like reading, what genre is your favorite? I wouldn't say that I dislike reading, but I also don't read very often. But I think normally like horror. And do you like drawing? Again, it's one of those things where like I don't do it very often. From Sharpen414, what kind of music do you like? Generally like rock music. What is the capital of Botswana? Gaborone. Loops. If you played... Okay. Look, that can be its own video in of itself. Maybe at 1 million subscribers. Lizzie Pie. Do you support bald people? Yes. V or N. This is a very common question for some reason. How's the weather for you? Not great, to be honest. In fact, last week I got 2 snow days because the weather is pretty shit, to be honest. History Man, what is your favorite element on the periodic table? Okay, I didn't know my chemistry teacher watched my videos, but I guess it would probably be 102 because it's no, and I just think that's funny. That's not funny, is it? From Absolute Solver 1001, how long have you loved and known about Murder Drones? I mean, I liked it pretty much as soon as I started watching, but I would say I really kind of got invested after episode 3, because episode 3 is just amazing. What's your favorite animal? It's hard for me to pick because I have a dog and a few cats, so it'd be one of those two, but I like them both. Do you know about geography and history? I know some geography stuff, I guess, even though I don't really take the classes. I can probably name most of the countries. History, I mean, I've watched History of the Entire World many times, so I guess if that counts, then sure. Eclipse Venexis, who were your biggest inspirations for YouTube? I guess before I started, it would have just been other Murder Drones YouTubers like Yagster. Tips for up-and-coming YouTubers? I think just do what you like doing, you know? I mean, that's all that I've ever really done, and it's worked out for me. Favorite YouTubers? I mean, generally just any gaming YouTuber like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Corey Kenshin. I don't know. Anyone who has interesting comedy and plays a lot of video games, it'll be one of them. Jeremy K1J, Enter V. Doing stuff 2626. Do you think there could be a season 2? At this point, I don't think that they would make one. I think they could make one, but at this point, I don't think it's gonna happen. Next is from the biggest J simp herself, Totally Not. What do you think about J? Smack. I like J quite a lot, even though her writing is questionable. I've always liked her personality quite a lot. I mean, you know, not as much as V, and she's also not hotter than V, but she's still pretty good. What do you think about my mortal enemy, Thad? Hear me? I don't know. I like Thad, but he's also just not that interesting. I feel like he had good potential to be by like episode 2, but he just doesn't do very much throughout like the rest of the series. I don't know, I think Thad's alright, but could have been better. And credit card number. Here it is on screen, alright, okay, now go take a nap. From Jer and Eli, what got you into Murder Drones? It had a good animation, interesting characters, interesting plot, and some really cool fight scenes. Yeah, I could tell it was a show for me early on. What made you start a YouTube channel? I thought it'd be pretty fun, and it has been. Was that a has-been reference? Lodsky Mapping has a very serious question for me. Okay, alright, I'm ready for it. Do you have a low taper? Cool noob, what is your favorite song? And rock song. I don't know which one, but probably one of them. And I mean, I guess you can't really go wrong with the Murder Drone soundtrack. And when the ice sets in, I'll need you. Yeah, that's all. I'm not doing the rest. Preston the Magnificent asks, if you had to remove N, Uzi, V, or Sin, which would you do, and how would that change the plot? The thing about N and Uzi is you can't really have one without the other, especially in the later episodes. I mean, maybe you could remove Sin and then make Jay or Doll one of the villains, because, let's be honest, they got neglected as villains for sure, even if they were never the main villain. I have no question, I just wanted to say something. Thank you very much. Okay. Alright, and on to the final comment from HC Animation. Alright, for the last question, let's see. Okay, then. Favorite episode of Murder Drones? Episode 8. Said my piece, I think. Favorite scene in Murder Drones? I mean, the fight scene, episode 8. Like, you can't really beat that. Favorite piece of Murder Drones merch? Definitely Fat Fuck. V-Cat is peak. Favorite OST in Murder Drones? It would be Forever. I love that song. Bite Me is a close second, but Forever has to take it for me. Besides Murder Drones, do you like other indie animated shows? I think I already said a few other ones that I like. I'm excited to see where indie animation goes, especially like these next couple years. I think are going to be pretty big for it. If you play video games, what are some of your favorites? Minecraft. Are there any hobbies that you like to do? I guess what I'm doing right now is really a hobby. Are you excited for any upcoming Murder Drones fan projects? I definitely am. Favorite color? It's always been red for me. I just think it's a color that has always stood out from the rest of them. Favorite animal? Like I said, cat or dog. Doll or Jay as an antagonist? See, the thing about Jay being an antagonist is that it wasn't the route me and a lot of other people were expecting, and I think it would have made more sense to not have her be an antagonist in the end, given that it doesn't add much to her character. So I would probably say Doll is a better villain in my opinion. I don't really know about her being the main villain, mostly just because of her not being like completely evil, but you know, she's very cruel. And the last question, what do you like best about being a YouTuber? For me, it's just being able to make videos that I want to make. It's why I'm not really too scared to branch out into other forms of content. Right now, I'm just making a lot of Murder Drones videos because I have a lot of fun doing it. But really, I think YouTubers should just make what they want and go from there and see where it takes them. And that is it. I tried to answer as many questions as possible. I probably still missed a few, so my apologies if I did. Thank you all again for 2,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. And thank you all very much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Plur.